Hi, my name's Jasmine. I'm a JCC student at in Louisville, Kentucky. This is a video that's going to cover the hematology lecture in regards to pediatric conditions and problems. And the first one, I'm sorry you can't really see it, my light's bright, is talking about IDA. So, what is IDA? IDA stands for iron deficiency anemia. So, who's most at risk for IDA? So, you have premature babies. Then you have adolescent females due to bleeding. They're still kids. Premature adolescents. And finally, you have infants. 6 months, 24 months. The reason why infants are at risk for at 6 months, 24 months is because prenatally, when they're growing in the womb, their iron stores are depleted by the time they reach 6 months. So they don't have any more. So signs and symptoms of IDA depend on whether they're short term or they're long term. The long term effects usually occur when they're not treated on time or properly. So let me back up. Let me talk about. Well, I don't think I need to talk about what it is. I think everyone really understands what low or why IDA is such a big thing. If you have low iron storage, you're gonna have low oxygen. Just the way it works. Okay. So short-term side effects of short-term symptoms of item. The first one is pallor. It's gonna be pale, obviously. O2. Fatigue. Uh, what else missing one? Missing two. Keep having these brain farts. You're gonna be irritable. And you're gonna have poor muscle development. The child is. Excuse me if I talk like I'm in the first person, but you know, that's just me. So the short-term signs and symptoms of IDA, there's four. There's four for each of them for long-term and short-term. So short-term is noticing. They're going to be pale, they're going to be tired, they're going to be irritable, and they're going to have poor muscle growth development, which then can affect their actual growth and development also. All right, so moving on. The long-term side effects of low iron. So long-term effects are nail bed deformities. The most common nail bed deformity is bacterial endocarditis. Another long-term effect of low iron is tachycardia, murmurs, and poor growth and development. I do think that was the last one. Yes. Woo! I'm just gonna put G and D. Okay, so remember short-term effects: pallor, irritability, fatigue, poor muscle development. Over time, if those are not treated appropriately, it will cause nail bed deformities in regards to bacterial endocarditis. Tachycardia, that means your heart's working harder because it doesn't have enough oxygen to grab the red blood cells and do its thing. Murmurs and poor growth and development. What is our nursing care in regards to IDA? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have to make sure we get a complete history, especially if it's a baby. We're gonna have to get the blood count, Other things we're gonna have to do, uh, blood count in regards to hemoglobin too, their hemoglobin levels. Other things we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to, do I want to go there? No. Okay. Anyway, so things we're gonna monitor and implement. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm tired. Uh, we're gonna have to monitor and implement rest, hydration, activity. Other things we're gonna have to promote are just food, education on food. I'm gonna get to that at the end. Now, the norms with iron for a newborn are high. So a newborn, I do believe, is 14 to 17. No, 14 to 24. Excuse me. For an infant, it's 10 to 17. And for a child, it's 9.5 to 10.5. Now, I'm going to sit down and talk about the rest of this stuff. Okay. So when a baby is born, ways to increase blood flow and to prevent IDA is delayed cord clamping. Now, they may be like, some of you are thinking, I don't really understand delayed cord clamping. Well, with delayed cord clamping, at least 2 to 3 minutes, what it can do is that it can prevent jaundice and anemia because the blood flow is still pulsing blood to the baby. It gives that baby a little more time to prevent IDA early on. And with food, let's do education with food. Okay, if a child is experiencing IDA, you want to promote iron-rich food, fortified formula. You do not want to, I know we had another lecture, you do not want to just put water inside of a water bottle and just give it to them. Don't want to do that. Other things, you want to give them folic acid and prenatal vitamins if she's pregnant. What else? Let me look. There's a whole list of stuff. With the activity too, the reason why I mentioned activity for what we're going to do as our nursing intervention is because the more activity that child does, the more stress they put on that heart, which means the heart's going to work harder. They're already tachycardic. They're going to work harder to get blood out. And you don't want that, especially if the child already has anemia. And maybe you might even have to replace that blood loss situationally. Now, another lab that I didn't mention that I forgot to mention is iron binding capacity. That range is 250 to 410. That is the normal range of iron binding capacity. Another thing that you want to promote the protein intake in iron rich foods also. And also, here's another education when we're dealing with iron. If your child has to take iron supplements, you want to take the iron supplement first thing in the morning with a glass of orange juice. Why? Orange juice vitamin C, orange juice promotes the absorption of iron. Do not give them antacids if they're having some type of GI problems, because you know what antacids do? They coat the lining of the stomach and inhibit absorption. Um, For the numbers in regards to the norms for iron, what you want to focus on is the low numbers. For a newborn, if the newborn comes in and they're like their iron levels are their hemoglobin norms, excuse me. Hemoglobin norms, and their hemoglobin is like for newborn, something crazy. 14. So like an 8, that's a problem. If a child's hemoglobin level is 7, that's a problem. If a infant's hemoglobin level is Like a 7.2, that's a problem. You know, just do what you can. And this is supposed to be a 17, so forgive me for writing a 7. My mind goes faster. My mind moves faster than my mouth and my hands, so sometimes it has to play a little catch up. The struggle is real. And that's it for, I think, for nursing care. But the emphasis for nursing care with Ida is just dietary intake. Where are they getting their iron from? Are they doing what they're supposed to do? Uh, Now, iron-rich fruits are all your green leafy vegetables, your legumes, your beans. Uh, Organ meat is perfect. I know I love liver. Most people don't like liver, but to each their own. Dried fruit, egg yolk, enriched flour, and again, avoid antacids and do not let them drink milk with this. Okay, first thing in the morning, don't drink no milk. Um, just did the education. Oh, so things you want to teach too when you're giving someone iron, you want to make sure that they know when they go home that if their stool comes out tarry and black, it's okay. It's normal. And also just around there, you might get a little constipated, so you might want to drink more water. Um, what's one to talk about? Mothers who are breastfeeding with children with IDA, they can do different types of supplementations for that. Um, she might need to increase her diet. She might need to change her diet in regards to breastfeeding. So make sure she knows that. And tell her to eat high fiber. And a safety concern is that uh, if a child gets a hold of iron and they think it's candy, that's why we never call medicine candy anymore for children. Um, they can die from it. You can die from too much. You can die from too much water. You definitely can't die from too much iron. Um, and lethargic and tiredness are the first side effects to someone being having ida problems. And I think that's it. Ida's pretty simple. You just want to educate on signs and symptoms, late, early, preventative measures in regards to education and how to take it and what to expect and how to conserve energy, decrease stress on the heart, and the hemoglobin levels for a nursing perspective. And I think that's it. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.